you so much for accepting my interview invitation. I'm um, I'm Solène. I'm the founder of Creators for Good and social entrepreneurship expert. Basically, I do online consulting for expatriates who all around the world want to create their own social businesses. And I always encourage my clients to share their ideas, even at the very early stage, with different stakeholders so that they can sharpen their concept. And I think Babele is actually a fantastic tool to do that. Babele is a consulting platform where social entrepreneurs can receive advices from the crowd. Plus, it's accessible everywhere on the planet. All you need is an internet connection. So I think that's a fantastic tool. And Manu, I want to ask you, first of all, to introduce yourself and tell us why you decided to create Babele together with Ruxandra.
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Emanuele. I come from Italy. I'm an electronic engineer. I did like studying in an MBA. And in Rio de Janeiro, actually, the topic of Babele was the topic of my master thesis. The idea of the master thesis was to write about a system on how to incentivize the collaboration and the participation of society stakeholders in the development of sustainable development projects for the common good. So it was ultimately looking at how we could have possibly changed the way like democracy works today and like create a system for participatory democracy where people do not only see something applied that is going to impact them, but you simply help stakeholders to participate. After that, to be honest, like I didn't have immediately the courage to start working on the project because it was 2009. It was like the financial crisis, and I simply worked as a consultant for 1 year and then as a project manager for Procter and Gamble for 3 years. But I met Ruxandra in 2011, and we started discussing about the project. And Ruxandra was at the time sustainability consultant at Deloitte, and she was absolutely interested and passionate about the opportunity to support social entrepreneurs in their challenge, let's say, to scale and develop social change and like measure social impact because that's one of the main things. So we started working on the project, and we suddenly realized that it was not enough the effort of working only on weekends and working only at night when we would come back home from our regular job. So at some point, we did a presentation in front of 400 people in Paris, and everybody said, "Okay, that's a fantastic idea, guys. Where are you at?" And we said, unfortunately, it's still a lot of blah 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 at the moment. It makes all a lot of sense, but we didn't have yet the opportunity to really dedicate sufficient time to develop the concept like more in depth. So that's the reason why, like, we got motivated. I left the PNG, Ruxandra left Deloitte, we left Paris, and we actually went to live in Romania so that we could have decreased the setup cost and start working on the project. Gather the first community of mentors, gather the first social entrepreneurs, and then somehow like letting those two markets meet so that they could have started creating value together.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what's Babele's business model?
The business model is the same one of GitHub. The idea of Babele was starting like from the idea of open source. The way open source works is that any programmer in the world can possibly participate to open code and then change it and modify it. And we wanted to do pretty much the same thing with business modeling. So opening the business model so that everybody can participate. In this sense, like we thought that the most important thing was to protect the idea of openness. So for all the projects that they leave all the information open for the participation of anyone, then the platform is completely for free. In case you want to manage your stakeholders' participation, because there are different stakeholders that participate in the development of a project, and not all the stakeholders, one, might want to know the same information about the project, and two, they might be interested to receive like all the information about the project. So we made a functionality, which is a premium functionality that helps the user to share each part of the project with the right circle of stakeholders. So like you create your circle and then like you create the right pattern of discussion only with the right people. And there are right now like more premium features that are coming as the opportunity to measure performance indicators, sorry, so that you can also have a vision like on how the project is performing, and then like also the opportunity to have an integration with Google Calendar and experiments, so that you can track like the lean startup experiments that each project is doing towards achieving its goals. And all those are like a premium functionalities. But for the rest, we're keeping the platform completely for free.
Okay, great.
So that everybody can use it.
And so far, when have you really launched Babele online? And so far, how many social entrepreneurs have you helped in how many countries? Or what is the impact actually of Babele?
Yeah. So we launched the platform at the end of September of last year. So like it's a little more than 1 year. And so far, like aside from the very first testing phase in which we've been using the platform in parallel with our workshop that we ran in 14 countries, then like we started really focusing on social entrepreneurship, like starting on January, and we helped approximately like 200 projects from 65 countries that have came like with an initial plan, and then they have simply renewed like the plan according to the feedback of the crowd.
That's great. And what's your ambition, Manu, for the next 3 years? Or what impact do you wish to achieve with Babele?
Yeah. Okay. As it was, I was saying like before, what we are trying to do is eventually to get towards like participatory democracy. So we already like talked with a few municipalities that are doing like a project on like a public innovation center, so that they can actually involve the citizens in the creation of projects that are gonna be for the municipality. And what we wanted to do is actually helping this to happen by offering the platform for municipalities and their citizens, so that all the citizens together can actually do collaborative project planning, and then follow up like on the implementation of these projects, and eventually have a more transparent implementation like in the of the policy making, local policy making, at least at the beginning.
So basically, social entrepreneurship is one of the niche that you decided to start on, but then you want to expand the model itself to other stakeholders.
Yeah, absolutely. The point is that while there is a bigger understanding today, like on the side of social entrepreneurs, on the need to open up, like and get as many feedback as possible in order to challenge their business model, iterate faster, and so on, it is still not extremely easy to talk with municipalities, and that's the reason why we decided not to start immediately on that field, because the awareness of municipalities, like and that need to be somehow more open and transparent, it's increasing right now. But it was not the easiest market to start with. So that's the reason why we're going to get into that slowly, while we first demonstrate the value that you can create having less people involved than, let's say, 1,000 citizens working all together for the same project.
Okay, very interesting. And so now that you have helped that many social entrepreneurs, can you tell us about like the success factors that you see on the platform, or the three main things that successful social entrepreneurs do?
Okay, like the success factors that we're looking at today is first of all, like what's the level of appreciation of the entrepreneurs regarding the feedback that they receive from the crowd, and of course whether the business models of the entrepreneur is actually evolving and iterating faster because of the contribution of the crowd. What we have so far is that 60% of all the feedback that the entrepreneurs receive are appreciated feedback. So it means that it's already a good result, even though of course there is a margin for improving those results and making sure that we can create, for example, a reputation system that can help the entrepreneurs in the platform better rate the help they receive, and better rate also the various supporters that might actually earn a reputation within the platform according to the contribution they give to the project. So there is like yet a lot of improvement on that side, but it's coming.
And do you have like one example or one success story of a social entrepreneur who used Babele and transformed its business model toward a more successful one thanks to the crowd?
I'm going to give you two examples.
Great.
The first one is Cafene, which is a project which is based in Cyprus. And the interesting thing, it was not like the help that actually received the entrepreneur was based on all the competencies that the entrepreneur himself didn't have to start the project. So one of the biggest difficulty of the entrepreneur was the fact of having some help on the financial plan. And it's interesting because through the crowd mentoring, we managed to have like a full financial plan that was made by the mentors for this project, so that he could have like the first financial projection, and he would start like seeing the project also from a financial and economical viability perspective. So like that was like a very interesting example on how the crowd could help on like one particular issue, the entrepreneur. The other example is the one of Energaia, which is a social enterprise coming from Thailand, and which is producing spirulina in a really innovative way. Spirulina, it's algae. The main problem was related to the distribution channel of the spirulina, plus having to understand how to increase awareness about the product. And through the crowd mentoring that we run during the last month, we managed to find several new contacts that the entrepreneur is right now contacting in Europe, so that he could easily spread the product like also in European bio supermarkets. Plus like more contacts from, for example, smoothie producers, so that he could actually sell the fresh spirulina, and this could be used for the smoothies that those producers sell today. So it's interesting because the kind of crowd mentoring can help on every level of the business modeling, and those were two examples in which like it was like pretty successful.
Okay, great, fantastic. Well, Manu, do you have a final message for maybe social entrepreneurs who are not yet on Babele, or for aspiring social entrepreneurs?
Yeah, absolutely. It's don't work alone. Try to open up like on whatever you're doing. Involve your stakeholders and try to iterate as fast as possible using the valuable input that stakeholders can actually give you. And join the platform and help all the entrepreneurs. That would be awesome. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much. It was really interesting. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you very much, Solène. Like, it was absolutely great.